Knowledge is power, right? I know
Yeah.
that's an old saying, but it's like, it's so true. Just, you can't change the world. You can't change your life. You can't improve or empower anything if you don't have the knowledge to do it. So I'm just a big advocate of doing that, and maybe haven't been my whole life, but I am now, in terms of trying to play that forward and make sure that they understand that you got to just keep learning and growing through that.
Welcome to the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. Your guide on this journey is Amy Sylvis, ready to unlock the keys to a life of true abundance. We're diving into everything from financial freedom and optimal health to meaningful relationships, geographic freedom, and everything in between. It's about creating a life rich in experiences, purpose, and joy. Get ready for empowering conversations, expert insights, and real-life stories that inspire you to live abundantly. If you're ready for the secrets to an abundant life, hit that subscribe button now, and let's get started.
Secrets to Abundant Living podcast community. I'm thrilled to welcome you to another episode. For those who don't know me, my name is Amy Sylvis. I am the founder and CEO of Sylvis Capital. We connect investors to commercial real estate opportunities that are hands-off. And I've got a treat for you all today. I have Tod and Carson Spooner, who I actually have met, and we've developed a relationship over several years, not only in commercial real estate and investing, but also for our love of USC football. What really drew me to them, fight on. Yes, we know this. What really drew me to them, we talk a lot about abundance on the podcast, and part of abundance that I hear from many of our investors and many of the people in the community is this sense of legacy, which can often mean your children, those who come after you, leaving something to society or your family. And gosh, I met Tod first, and then I got to speak to Carson, and I was just so impressed. Carson, I don't mean to take anything away from you, but I'm like, there's a reason Carson is so amazing. His dad clearly has done something right. So I'm going to stop babbling, but I just want to give you all some context for this conversation and why it's so meaningful that these two gentlemen are joining us today. So Tod, Carson, for those who don't know who you are, let us know a little bit more about you, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Amy, thanks for having us. And I would start off by saying I can't take all the credit for Carson. Certainly, my wife, Joanna, she's really the heartbeat of our family and is the person that provides so much to all of us. So, but yeah, I'll take a little bit right there, right? So
Fair.
Again, I'm Tod Spooner. As Amy had indicated, we've gotten to know each other now for a while, and for the love of USC and going together at a game. It was pretty crazy, that first game of the year against LSU. Sorry, Tigers, although our season didn't turn out quite like we had hoped to. But yeah, so I'm originally from California, born and raised, and now I'm in Dallas for the last 5 years. So I usually tell anybody that's listening, don't hold that against me if you're in Dallas. And there's been a lot of expats or refugees to Dallas from California. But yeah, certainly enjoying where I live and the journey with my kids and helping them to understand real estate and leaving a legacy. You almost got me choked up there a little bit when I was thinking about leaving a legacy, because that's really what it's about, in my opinion, is helping that I'm leaving a better place to my kids and just other people in our society.
Love that. I love that. And I candidly, just right before Carson goes, just to give you guys a preview of the relationship I have with Tod, we didn't know we were going to be sitting next to each other in Las Vegas at this USC LSU game. And truly the text, I should have pulled it up, that I sent him was, you're either going to love me a lot more or a lot less after this game. I'm a little bit of a wild one. I did, after our first touchdown, run down to where he and Carson were sitting, give them a high five. So it's an experience, but I'm glad he's still talking to me. So I didn't burn too many bridges there.
No, well.
Well, thanks for being here, Tod. Carson.
Yep. Well, likewise, very grateful to be here. Appreciate your time, Amy, for bringing both of us on. I am the youngest of my dad. Obviously, I have an older brother. But yeah, a little bit about me. Obviously, born and raised in Southern California. Grew up a huge USC Trojan fan, going to games every weekend with the family. It was a big part of my life and still is. But I grew up playing lacrosse, so I went from coast to coast. So I played the collegiate lacrosse at Sacred Heart University for 5 years, if you count my undergrad. I also had my master's for a year. So it was a great experience. And then I ended up being down in Dallas, where I am currently. and now starting my professional career in the insurance business as an employee health benefits advisor. But yeah, obviously, I'm super excited to be here. And obviously, I'm continuing to be a sponge in the investing and real estate space. And that's why I'm really excited to be here and just start to learn a little bit more about how I can also do other things besides insurance and just continue to learn more about different aspects of life.
Tremendous, tremendous. And I said this, but Carson actually reached out to me just to connect, which I am so impressed when people decide to do that because it shows initiative, it shows great forward thinking, planning. And we just had a conversation about real estate, no agenda. And what really blew me away was not only his social skills sounds a little bit bizarre, but his poise well beyond his years, really well beyond. Carson, for anyone who is looking to learn a bit more, maybe they're just starting off in their career and they just want to develop a relationship, get to know a space. Can you talk us through just a little bit of what made you decide to reach out and have that type of conversation?
I think the biggest thing is focusing on 1 to 2 things. And I try to take a lot of what I learned in athletics and sports into my business life. If you focus on a lot, overwhelms you. You got to really focus on 1 or 2 things and also just be a sponge. Know that it's going to be difficult in the beginning. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm starting to read a lot of books. Obviously, talking and communicating with you and my dad, it goes a long way. But I think just narrowing it down and focusing on a few things has really helped me. And I think it's going to help me to when I get to the point where I really want to start getting my feet wet, if that makes sense.
Of course. And it's never easy to be new, right? I think we all want to be masters of things and have it all taken care of. But to have a conversation and say, hey, I just want to learn. I just want to build a relationship. It's phenomenal what comes out of that. So I love that you have that mindset. I love that you are able to be vulnerable and hey, it landed you on a podcast. So that's pretty fun too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Tod, can you tell us about legacy? You said that choked you up a little.
Yeah.
I could just tell through talking to you, to Carson, that was something that you're not leaving that to chance. It feels like it's very intentional for you. Do you mind talking a little bit more about that kind of legacy piece of your life?
Yeah, I think when you head out to have kids, I think most people have their best intentions at the forefront of wanting to raise your children the way that you feel is the right way, to be good, just human beings, to be good citizens, to take care of and think about one another. And so I think that is something that I've wanted for my own kids as a result of when they grow up to be adults, as they are now, young men, and in their professional careers. And as a result, learning along the way. So even at my older age, I'm still learning. We can always be learning. And I've taken this mantra, they call it, Tod likes to drip. That's what they say at work. Like, I like to learn. I listen to a lot of podcasts myself. And I'm not a natural reader, but I force myself to read. And when I do, I really enjoy it. And I like to play it forward. I like to be able to keep myself fresh and then share it. So my kids are naturally going to get that. They don't have a choice because dad is going to share his opinion and they know that. And I think they usually appreciate my opinion. You just never know where that goes, but that's good for them to grow into themselves and have difference of opinion. But that's what I do. I just like to do that. And I do it because I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave something that they've learned along the way. So even as I've started learning more about the real estate side and the alternative investments, it's been a little mind-blowing, needless to say. Like, huh? Like, you can do what and how and with who? And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to leave your W-2 job, but if you do, you can. And that'll be a rabbit hole if we go down there too far. And as I've learned that, I'm like, oh, cool. Carson's my oldest. Like you got to listen to me because I wish I had known what I knew back in the day. Right? Even 10 years ago, I wish I had known what I know now. And it doesn't necessarily mean they may be at the financial level to do anything just yet, but it's about building your foundation. It's about minimally having the knowledge. So when you do get the opportunity, maybe financially, that you can take advantage of that. And so it's been mind-boggling to me. So that's, to me, it's about just leaving them with as much information as I can that can help hopefully improve their lives and help improve other people's lives along the way.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think culture teaches us that legacy should be about money or our abundance should be about money. And
Yeah.
I'm the first one to say there's nothing wrong with money. Money makes a lot of life a
Sure.
lot easier and a lot richer. But I think it's really important for our listeners to note that when you were talking about legacy right now, it wasn't necessarily, I'm going to rain all this money on Carson and Cole. Maybe you do, and that'd be really cool. But
Yeah.
instead, you're teaching them how to fish, or that's your intention, is how to
100%.
think, how to be a lifelong learner, how to be curious, how to have discipline. And that came across so clearly when I spoke to Carson. I can't tell you the number of young folks that reach out. I try to talk to as many people as possible because, like you, I think giving back is imperative. And God knows how many people helped me along my journey. But Carson's mindset reflected, I wish everyone was on that call, but it just came through so clearly of what you just said, of him just saying, I want to be a sponge. I want to learn.
Yeah.
And to your point, where I would be if I was in my 20s and I understood this alternative investing and real estate game, your sons have the potential to really change their lives and many generations after, if that's the path that they decide to go on.
Yeah, surely knowledge is power, right? I know
Yeah.
that's an old saying, but it's like, it's so true. Just, you can't change the world. You can't change your life. You can't improve or empower anything if you don't have the knowledge to do it. So I'm just a big advocate of doing that, and maybe haven't been my whole life, but I am now, in terms of trying to play that forward and make sure that they understand that you got to just keep learning and growing through that.
Incredible. Carson, what do you think in terms of where you are in your career? What are the next steps? Because obviously you're going to be successful at whatever you do. It's obvious to everybody, and I'm not just trying to butter you up, but you mentioned you're in insurance, you're learning other things, maybe about real estate. What, with maybe your dad's guidance or what you're learning on your own in terms of reading, what does that look like in terms of what you're looking to pursue next, even if you're going to stay in insurance, excuse me?
Yeah, I think personal connections is huge. Business is important, but real fulfillment, for me at least, comes from strong relationships, whether it's family, friends, mentors that I have, especially employers that hopefully I work with. Being an employee health and benefits advisor, I'm grateful for the chance to meet new people and build those long-lasting relationships, because that is the business. As an advisor, you really have to care about people, and I do. Ever since I was young, I've always cared about people, especially now I care about the employees I work with, the employers, and that's what drives me every day. That's what gets me up, motivated every day. And that's being a college athlete. It was an easy transition to the professional career in the small aspects. As an athlete, you're waking up at 5 a.m. for lift. You're getting extra reps outside of practice. You're preparing for the most important day, which is Saturday, as an athlete. So I'm taking a lot of what I've learned previously growing up, but also in my athletic career, and just staying true. Being yourself and being genuine will go a long way than just trying to take shortcuts. It didn't work in sports, and for sure it won't work in the business life. So that's the kind of person I am, and that's what keeps me motivated, at least in the space that I'm in right now.
I love that you got those early on experiences in your life as an athlete and how much those skills transfer over to just life in general. I hear that theme so often. I've had Max Brown, the former USC quarterback, on this podcast, and it's just amazing to see. Obviously, sports is so much fun, but the gifts that it keeps on giving into adulthood just really impressed me to no end. Tod, if folks are listening to this podcast and they're admiring what you and your wife have done with your sons, maybe they didn't have this vision of leaving a legacy. Maybe they're trying to impart wisdom on their children, but they're not really hearing it. What advice would you give to folks who want to be more like you, be like Tod?
Oh boy, that's dangerous. I guess, like, just be engaged. And if you're not engaged, figure out how to be. I mean, I tell people, because I run a sales organization, and I tell people, like, there's so many resources for us today as individuals to learn. People, I think they say something around like, oh, I went to YouTube University. It's like, you're right, because that's what it's like. That, like, you can get so much further faster with information that's available that people have out there. Now, you still have to pay attention to who you're listening to, I think. Not the get rich quick people. Even in real estate, you got to play the long game, not the short game, right? We all have to learn that. So be careful of those people. But at the same time, I just think it wherever you start, just start searching or ask people, like, Like literally, like I love playing it forward and I love helping people. If there was anybody that was listening to this, it was like, where do I start? It's like, call me, like reach out to me on LinkedIn. Like I will tell you what I did. And I'm still in my journey here. I feel like there's not a lot of people out there that at least I've come across yet that are willing to say, this is what you need to do. Right. But I'll certainly share with you, or at least share with how I started. But I think podcasts, books, lean into those kind of things. If you don't know where to start, AI is a good place to start too. I'm a big AI guy,
Yeah.
and I can certainly get a wealth of information. You still have to check down on it, right? But that's what I would do. Just engage, get off the sideline, keep using the sports analogies and get into the game. I tell people, hey, if you're at a dance and you're there and we want you to dance, don't stand at the punch bowl. Like get on the dance floor, even if you're going to pull in Elaine dance, like it's ugly looking. It's okay. Like just dance. Like people don't care,
Yeah.
right? We're willing to make mistakes and just engage in content, and that'll get you going.
I would imagine so much of that has led to your success, because you didn't mention, Tod, your career and how prestigious that's been with your company, but just getting off the sideline, as you said, and giving it a go, whether it's parenting, I would imagine, I don't want to put words in your
Yes.
mouth, or your career or alternate investing. Well, there isn't really a guidebook for alternative investing. I'm imagining there was a lot of kind of self-education that you did and giving it a shot. But does that statement ring true?
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly with my age, you learn hopefully most people have learned through age and experiences, because that's the best way to learn, right? I think even in like the real estate world, they talk about analysis paralysis, right? And I have it, I've had it because I want to make the right decision. I want this little model. I want to tell me exactly what to do. And yet there's still a lot of speculation that goes on in the real estate field that you have to be prepared for. But I think you just got to be willing to make mistakes and realize that's how you learn. It's like skiing as well. Every time you fall down, it's like, I don't want to turn that way anymore. Just get back up and don't do it again. And you get better.
Beautiful. So well said. So
Yeah,
well
I think
said.
picking just lastly too, I think there's enough out there that when you start listening to people, you hear some things that resonate over and over and over again, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Everybody's read that book. It's like, and I would suggest reading it. Like that's a very eye-opening start. And then from there, it just goes from there. You just got to crack the egg and everything starts oozing.
Have you ever thought about having multiple streams of income? Instead of relying on just one stream of income where you're trading your time for money, how would you like to free up more of your time and live a more abundant life? As a listener of the show, you're invited to attend one of our upcoming trainings, where I'll give you an inside look into how you can add passive income and get all the other perks of recession-resistant real estate investing without the headaches of being a landlord. I'll also be sharing some hidden mistakes to avoid and the criteria I personally look for when evaluating potential investment opportunities. To reserve your seat for free, go to sylviscapital.com/webinar. Again, that special link to reserve your seat for free is sylviscapital.com/webinar. I look forward to seeing you on the training. And now back to the show. I've heard so many times, you all have probably heard this too, as well, that success leaves clues. And to your point,
Yes.
you dive in, you start to hear those common themes of work with somebody, get a mentor. This is a team sport, build relationships, like Carson so intelligently said. So Carson, what are some of those themes that you're seeing as you're on that journey of listening to more books and podcasts? I feel like I'm quizzing you. I don't mean it that way, but what are some of the kind of, because you're obviously on this journey, you're probably much further than other people your age. What are some of these success themes or journeys that you've seen that other people have gone on that you want to apply to your life as well?
Yeah, I think anyone who's my age and wants to get started in the business, or at least learn a little bit more about it, is just take one step at a time and step back and understand that you're not going to know everything. And it's all right, because I'm not in an age to where I'm fully invested into it, but I'm taking the years that I have right now to really learn and understand different aspects of the real estate space and investing space. Shifting from scarcity to an opportunity mindset. Give more than you take helps you stay disciplined, but it also allows you to practice gratitude and know that even though I don't know a lot right now, I'm grateful, because in 10 years, I will know a lot more than I know now. And I think that's something that's helped me for the last 5 years, writing everything down. I'm a very routine oriented person, and it seems crazy, but I write down everything, things I'm grateful for, where I want to be from in 2 years to 5 years to 10 years. It sets a routine twitch in your brain. The first couple of days are hard, but like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to understand this topic, but then I'm going to go back to it in 2 weeks. And then you're just programming this in your brain to where at some point, it's not going to be the first time that you understand it. It's going to be the second or third time that you understand it. So I think anyone who's my age and they're trying to give it a chance to understand it, don't quit on the first day. Continue to learn, write it down, whatever helps you. Everybody's different. Everybody understands things in a different way. Whatever you're best at, whatever you're good at, focus on that and target that. I think that's been a game changer for me. Obviously, my dad helps a lot. He's my biggest motivator. My whole family is. But when it comes to the space, in the investing space, he continues to push me every day to just continue to learn, continue to focus on a couple things. I think it goes a long way.
So what I'm hearing is systems and processes, consistency, sticking with something, and that tenacity of, hey, it's okay if it's not easy when you first get started. You know that it's worth the journey, and it likely will get a little bit easier with practice. You mentioned relationships earlier. You're checking all the boxes, my man. This is juicy. No, really. I talk to people 3 times your age that are still trying to wrap their arms around this. So it is no mystery that you're well on your way, whichever direction you decide to go in. Tod, this must make you proud.
Yeah, it does.
I bet. I bet.
My kids know I can be pretty emotional. So it's good to see your kids get to the point where they're just really good human beings and they've been listening along the way. That's really cool.
Yes.
Even if you don't think you, even if you don't think it.
Yeah, that's good. So I love it.
Well, we talk a lot about abundance on this podcast. I know we talked about legacy, but I'd love to hear from both of you all, just above and beyond what we've talked about, what abundance means to you. No right or wrong answer. It doesn't have to be money. We often talk about money being the vehicle to abundance, but not necessarily the destination. But given just so many of the gems that you both have dropped on the podcast, I'd just love to have our listeners understand what abundance feels like for you all.
I think for me, I relate a lot of it to just like relationships, like family. If you haven't seen already, like family is super important to me, and just having healthy family members and friendships and things like that are just everything. I think at the end of the day, if you're only working for the next dollar or the next status, what you drive, where you live, you're going to be really disappointed at the end of the day. So abundance to me is obviously for me at least, having a deeper relationship with friends and family, and God for that matter, because all of that is my really important part, to kind of the glue to hold us all together in life. That to me, that's abundance, and ability to give back and play it forward for people. At the end of the day, of course, at the end of the day, I want to be able to provide financially and live comfortably. Like, who doesn't, right? But I think at the end of the day, it's really about the relationships that we have, healthy relationships.
Fantastic. Could not agree more.
For me, like what my dad said, it's more than just financial success. That's not why I'm here. It's about having strong relationships, continuous growth for myself and my family, but also the ability to help others. I tend to say that a lot. And when people ask me about my story, I always start with having God. I was also being religious. I think he put me on this planet to help people. And when I was growing up, I didn't know what that meant. Am I going to be a doctor? Am I be a coach at home, a motivator in some way? But when I got into the insurance space, I really got to dive deep and to really understand how you can help people. It's a mindset of opportunity and an impact at my age. But I try to just focus on discipline through the abundance. Obviously, there's a lot of long-term success that can happen in both spaces, but I'm not focused about that. Obviously, I want to put myself in a good position for my future, for my family and my kids at some point in my life. But as of right now, it's not about the financial success. It's about learning, growing as an individual, and helping people. That's my major priority right now, is being able to leave the insurance space better than when I started in it, if I could put that into words. That's the motto I live by every day, because it's a very complex space, and I try to just help people understand it. That's my goal.
I love that you both either explicitly or implicitly touched on the fact that we can help other people and that can lead to other areas of success, right? This is a natural progression. If you help others, if you show up, if you do the right thing, if you're learning, there is a natural outflow of maybe that financial success or other abundance of great relationships or legacy. I think that's so powerful because society, quite candidly, teaches us, I think, maybe where I grew up was a little different, but it teaches us that if we focus on ourselves, getting our own, even if it means stepping on other people, that's the way to do it. And you all mentioned God, so I'm going to go there. We're designed to be happiest when we're giving. We're designed that way. It is a life hack that I'm not sure enough people understand. And that's one of the reasons I love specifically apartments, because guess what? The better I treat my residents, the more money we make. We're all on the same side of the table. So if we care about them, we provide safety, we provide community, we provide what people are looking for, the better we treat them. Our largest expense, which is turnover costs, meaning when someone leaves, we have to renovate the unit, we've got to get it all ready. That's our largest expense. If we can reduce that because people are so overjoyed to stay, we make more money. How cool is it to be on the same side as our residents? And it sounds like both of you live that philosophy as well of just treating people well and doing the right thing.
100%.
Beautiful. Well, we're coming towards the end of the podcast. I would love for you all to just give us one last nugget. I feel like I've squeezed so much out of both of you in terms of such great advice, but for people that either it can be folks that are exploring alternative investments and are scared, or people that are raising children and want them to be the best versions of themselves as possible. They're starting off like Carson and they're just trying to start to build their wealth, build their career. What advice would you all give? You can take it any way you want.
Gosh, I think if there are people raising children, it's not easy, right? And I would just say it's not always just you either. It is the child. You can't always take the responsibility for everything that your children do, right? It's harder to hear that when you're in it, but I think the consistency around the things that you do and exposing your children to the good things in life, and I think it's pretty easily seen what the good things are about treating people the right way and just caring for people in general is a really good start. I think from an investing perspective, it's just start listening. Open your eyes and pay attention, because the comments around the tax code has been written for people that participate in generation, but it's eye-opening, right? So I just think education, it's interesting because I often talk to a lot of salespeople, and it seems like everybody that leaves school almost thinks their education is over. So I usually bring all these analogies into the conversation, like, geez, if you were a professional athlete, do you think that they just show up for game day? No, they practice during the week. Okay, well, do they only practice during the week? No, they practice off season, or sometimes they stay after practice to run routes, or in lacrosse, shoot more balls. It's like, okay, well, what about a hairstylist? Do you think she just or he gets his skills like just from their training originally, and then they just cut hair for the next 30 years with no training? No. What about a doctor and an attorney? And I can go on and on and on, which are all professionals, right? So the whole point of that is I try to help people to understand that during that journey, they're all having to continue to develop their skills. Yet a lot of people don't once they leave school. So just lean in. We've got lots of easy ways to do it through podcasts and audiobooks and reading, and just, like I said, engage. If that was the one word, just engage in a little bit of content, and it'll start opening things that you've never heard before. Like I told Carson one time, start reading more, because it'll put more words in your vocabulary and you'll have more things to talk about when you're at mixers and networking events. And lo and behold, like, here we go, right? It's working. Yes. So
love it. Two wonderful, wonderful mic drops there. Thank you so much, Tod.
Yep. I think from my standpoint, especially someone who's just starting, it's leaving an impact on yourself and the people around you, but being invested in the moment, being invested in just taking time to understand it and learn it. I know I keep reiterating myself of being a sponge, but that's what it is. Especially when you're young and you're starting, try to leverage that time you have, because time goes by fast. Being in college went by super fast, and now even my professional career, it keeps going by fast. So I continue to remind myself, but my dad also keeps continuing to remind myself every day to just continue to stay focused, but in line on what you want to do. What do you want to get out of it? And always set your goals. What do you want to get out of the investing space or the real estate space or what I'm doing right now in the insurance space? What are your goals? Because if you don't set goals for what you want to get out of it, you're just roaming. It's like going to the store and not having a list of groceries you want to pick. You end up just going through all the aisles. And that drives me crazy, especially being a routine person. I always bring a list with me. So that's the same thing in everything else you do. You have to start to continue to build these habits. And I think that will help me, but it'll also help me when I have a family and I continue to give back to my kids, my family, and continue to just how would I say it? Continue to revolve. It'd be just an open door. But that's my goal. Is just continue to just stay focused and take every day as a new day to learn something new.
Boom. Boom. So clear why you are going to be so successful, Carson. I just love it. What gems. What's the best way for folks to get a hold of you? Tod, you mentioned LinkedIn. Is that the best way?
LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Like that's the best connection for me. And just, I always say, don't pitch slap me. No, so don't connect with me and immediately try to sell me something. But yeah, and nobody's listening to you is doing that. People are trying to learn and grow. And yeah, please connect with me. I just love being able to learn from other people as well. So that's the best way for me.
Amazing. We'll make sure to put that link in the show notes. Carson, what about you? Best way to get a hold of you?
Likewise, I believe LinkedIn is the best. Obviously, you don't pitch slap me either, but obviously I'm open to talking to. I'm an open book. And that's what kind of drives me every day. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm very open. LinkedIn's probably the best way, and then go from there.
Amazing. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. I did hear that maybe there was a Cole that wanted to join us. So maybe a part 2 at some point if people want to be even more impressed. So listeners, let us know in the chat if you want to have a part 2 and we can have all the Spooner gentlemen join us and have another great conversation. But thank you again so much. And thanks to our listeners for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights that will empower you on your journey towards abundance. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us, and it helps others discover the secrets to an abundant life too. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn, Amy Sylvis. Keep striving for your goals, nurturing your relationships, and embracing the adventure that is life. Until next time, we wish you an abundantly fulfilling day.